My project for this week is to do the mural on the outside wall. I have my little stylus and my graph paper, and my pattern has been traced. Hi guys, it is week 2, video 3, and in the evenings I've been working on some smaller projects because there's really not much I can show as far as the actual step-by-step, because it's mostly just kind of sitting and watching TV and working on things. So I've actually been working on a little set for the dolls, and I'm gonna bring him up close. There we go. So I made a little knit sweater and bonnet set, and this is the Valentine's themed MyMiniBabies from MGA, and I have, this is the first series. So they did make some improvements and some changes to the dolls, and the baby food series, I have a couple of those, and I've been trying to compare them to each other. So the sweater will work, the bonnet will work as well. It may not come down as far as on the forehead of the Miniverse baby food, and I haven't seen any of these anymore, so I don't know if they're doing a series 2 or whatever for those, but I do know that these little guys, they have several series out. There's even a Disney one, so I will be working on editing that set. You can see I just used a skein of number 8 pearl cotton, and because I had the set of pearl cotton I got to do blankets and everything, so that's what I'm working on next. So I'm not sure about the difficulty scale, because I am going to release the pattern. Might make a few with some of my short ends of my pearl cottons, and put those on the shop. But as far as the pattern, I'm not sure. It's actually quite an easy pattern. My grandmother used to make these a lot. I used to make them a lot for people who had children. It's just knit stitch, it's just a garter stitch, some increased stitches and some bind off stitches. So, but it does use a 1.5 millimeter needle. Those are usually called like knitting pins, and the only way I've seen 1.25 is as a double pointed needle, but you just use it as a straight needle. You only need 2 of them, so I'm not sure if I want to mark it as an easy but challenging project. We'll see. But anyway, let's get to what we're working on here. My project for this week is to do the mural on the outside wall. I have my little stylus and my graph paper, and my pattern has been traced. And today I just want to get the base color, keep my fabric handy for a color cue. The tree is actually a white trunk with 2 to 3 colors leaves. So I'm gonna trace out, get my trunk color down, my hills and grass, and then maybe some clouds back here in the background, and I'll probably sponge those with white. So I have a, let's see, I've got a pistachio, which is a light green, and then I have an olive green, which is a little bit lighter than the chalk paint green. And for the tree, I have just basic white for the tree and the bunny. I have some colors for my fox, my squirrel and a couple of colors for my owl, so, and some pink. So I'm just gonna use my craft paints. As you can see, I've had these around for a while. Very little goes a long way. I will have to do some shaking and stirring. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's get the pattern traced onto the board first. enjoying this kind of craft with me session for this part of our diorama? If you have, I ask that you like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to continue to see the progress of this project. Our next video will be assembling our diorama so that we can finish the outside details, add our window box and that, and get started on the trim and wallpaper inside. Until then, happy crafting, and I hope you have a great week.